Good evening, folks. Another episode of Airfix and Chill on a Monday, not a Tuesday. I was actually quite late getting home, and I was thinking maybe I should push it back to Tuesday, but I got home in time to be able to talk about scale modeling and to discuss what's been on your workbench and any other things that come up in the chat. Obviously, if you have any questions, put in capital letters question, then write your question. Obviously, super chats and that get priority over whether we discuss the question or not. But we will try and get through as many comments tonight as we can. And there's quite a few of you in the chat already. Ryan, Wayne, Oz, Scale Modeling, Michael Kerr, Little History Taggers. Absolutely go for it painting. Just quickly going down through David JM. Loads on here tonight. Mark Shelland, which is always good to see. We've got 66 in the chat already, so it must be an interesting subject matter, indeed. So, anyway, it's nice to see you, James, Sully, John, and Alex. If any of the others want to jump in, they probably will in a bit. I've sent the email out to Nigel and to John Parker. I've not heard back, and I know Model Officer is whacking late. But I was going to hound him anyway if he came on site because his subscription box this month is another bloody mini art kit.
Oh, nice.
Another bloody mini art kit, bugger. You must have a deal with them or something. I still got that Jeep there. It's just stuck there, half done. Like I just.
Or he can't sell them.
Yeah. It's one or the other, isn't it? So
those tractors are nice.
Have you built that one?
Yep, the Lands. They make a half dozen versions of it, but that's great.
This one isn't a Land. Oh, it is a Lands. Yeah.
It was actually my first mini art kit. Was one of those Lands tractors, and yeah,
and it goes together all right, did it?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I just thought the chassis, body, and transmission with all in 3 pieces was a bit much. I would have thought it would in 2 hours just stuck together, not like 30. And like I looked at the seat. The seat, it's got 9 pieces to it. 9.
Yep.
The seat, 9 pieces. Talk about part count. They are part whores, aren't they? They just love it.
Yeah.
Mini art slappers when it comes to part count, honestly. Really does nut me in. Well, so tonight I thought we'll talk about Mojo. Now, I lost my Mojo for about 3 weeks, just previous. And then I cracked on with the bomb bug, and I then built, which I've post pictures up. I don't know what I've done with it now. There you go. I bought a whippet from Hobbycraft because I went up there to get some. I wanted to buy some sable haired brushes, and you know I spent 25 quid and came out with 3. Do you know what I mean? They're not cheap.
Ouch.
But this was up for 9 quid. Now, don't get me wrong, Hobbycraft have dropped the bollock, not losing Airfix, but they seem to have a lot of these in stock. And I thought that for 9 quid, it went together like a dream. And this is the finished result. I've weathered it, I've made the tracks all rusty. The only prick about it is that the decals were crap. All right, they flattened down nicely there. But when I picked up, because you're supposed to have Firefly on the front, but as soon as I picked up that Firefly, it didn't just fold over; it did this. That's what it did. I swear to you, it fucking knotted up. And I was there. I dumped it in water. I blew on it. I put it back on the paper. I got the fucking iron out. Ironed it. No, it just wouldn't. It was just a knot. I was like, I'm not going on this model. And that was it. Really did upset me. But all the other bits went on fine. But as I say, only a few. But I kind of got like me buzz back because after doing the bomb bug, which was a bit of an arse to build because the instructions weren't perfect. Okay, and what I did, I made a balls up because I did the body and I did the skirt separately, sprayed it all up. But when I went to glue it together, that's when it just became an absolute nightmare. And so the bomb bug's all built. and everything. Transfers went down. Looks okay, but I should have done the skirt first because there's a lot of spring here on that back wing. That back wing there. There's a lot of spring. You've got to really sellotape it hard or mask it hard because you can't clamp it. It's difficult to clamp, and so it's left a bit of a bodgy job around the edges of the wing, edges of the wings or the arches at the back. Other than that, superbly done. And then I got the Ferret Scout, and now I'm in full flow back into my scale modeling again. Anyone else experiencing Mojo? And if you've got anything, what turns you off modeling, if you see what I mean? What makes you lose that love? What makes you lose your scale model building feeling that you can't be asked doing it? Go on then, James. You start. Anything stop you from doing scale modeling?
Yes, having a brain malfunction didn't help.
Was it really a brain malfunction?
Yes, I had a TIA.
Yeah, that's right.
Minor stroke, so it was very hard to do the. I noticed when I was doing actually not the ferret, I was doing the dingo.
Yeah,
which is a Tamiya kit, funnily enough.
Mm.
And I just lost interest in it, and lost interest in something else I was doing. They were taking a long time.
Yeah, I get that.
And I discovered I had a TIA.
Did you find scale modeling help you with your recovery?
Yes,
it did. Yes. Did it? What
I built an ICM Chevy truck.
What, in hospital?
No, here. I didn't go. I was in. I didn't go to hospital. I had an MRI and it was inconclusive. They said, "Oh, you've had a TIA."
So did it affect your mobility or anything like that?
Yes. Can't drive.
You can't drive at all now?
No. Can't drive. I cannot drive an auto. I have to drive an automatic.
Wow.
So.
Fair enough. But yeah, so basically scale modeling helped you with your recovery of your stroke.
Yeah.
But before then you lost your mojo because of that?
Yeah.
Fair enough. At least you got back into it again and seem to be building more. What have you got on the workbench at the moment?
I have got a 50-year-old Walker Bulldog. Tamiya Walker Bulldog.
Yeah. I've got one of them.
Yeah.
Any good?
Well, the fit's lovely on it.
Yeah.
It's all, again, rubber. It's the type of vinyl tracks which you have to solder. Use a soldering iron to weld them together. You can't glue them.
Yeah.
It's basically in bits on my in my spray booth at the moment.
Fair play. John Alec, have you had a mojo recently, or are you just cracking on doing your scale modeling?
It's a good question. I've been thinking about it this afternoon. I keep myself in sort of good mojo status by I do a number of builds at once. So because I'm OCD, and so if I'm just doing an armor build, I will get burned out. It's just, especially like one of those mini Artful interior kits, or if I'm just doing a plane or something like that. So I learned a little while back, just have different builds going on at once. And then to double that, I've learned that having different genre going at once really helps. So it keeps me from getting burned out. If I've got a bike build, or if I've got a car build and that. But I have found that when I am sort of losing my mojo a little bit, these 112 bike kits, they're so fun to build and so hard to mess up. For me, these have become my mojo builds for sure. Absolutely. I when I'm doing these bikes, it's really liberating, and it helps. So that's my sort of cure for losing mojo.
Fair enough. Yeah. I've got a bike on my bench, well, not on my bench, right in front of me now. is the German sidecar BMW R75
Cool.
from Bandai. Love to know what year this is, but that's
What scale?
It's 1:48 scale.
Oh gosh, that's small. My goodness.
That's
Because I did a
tiny.
135 Zundap, and that's like maybe this long, and
Yeah,
basically like this. Motorcycles like the whole shape of this, and that's in 135th.
this has got a scene in it as well in the box. There's an actual scene that you put your bike in front of, like, you know. So it's got like they've got German models in behind, like, you know, on a diorama, so you can do the bike and put that. So I'm going to take this out, scan it, and use it to put everything on it, like, you know, take a picture. But it's all right. It looks okay. They show you how to make a poncho on one of the figures with it, like, you know.
Cool.
You see that? It's like a little poncho, which I thought was quite interesting. But it's only a little kit. But I just thought to myself, you know, I haven't done a bike for a long time because I lost my mojo on doing a bike. And I think I shipped one to you, didn't I? Did I ship a bike to you from Tamiya?
Yeah, let me get it.
Yeah.
That's the one. I bought this on auction from you. You know, I saw it.
That's it. Yeah, the CBR. And I was going to build that. And in the end, I bit the bullet. And
so,
you know,
thanks. Perfect. This went towards the camera.
So, yeah, this is it. This was Bandai. And the only problem with it is that it's all in Chinese writing. There's no, or Japanese writing.
Japanese.
No English. There is no English in it whatsoever. But it's it's only got about 40 parts, including the bits. But I'm going to including the figures. But this is, I thought to myself, you know, if I'm gonna do a bike and kill my mojo of bikes, I thought I'd have a crack at this one. Why were you then, Alec? Do you get mojo at all when you scale model build?
Yeah, I mean, especially doing aircraft. I do a lot of aircraft, and especially big ones when you get into like doing the interior, and you get to that stage where you actually then have to spray it up or paint it.
And then close it up and never see it again.
yeah. And there's that kind of like, okay, so now I've got to do the whole airbrush thing and get that over. And it's like, but sometimes I'll just be in the mood for building. And it's just like, that can get to the point of like, okay, well, I'll put that to one side and I'll do something else. Yeah. And I think John Alex got it absolutely right. Changing genre, and I think I'll scale modeling, put it in the chat as well. Changing genre is a really good way to snap out of that. I mean, for me, doing a tank where you don't have an interior, you know, just a simple thing like Tamiya's Panzerkampfwagen 2, you know, just buy a dozen of them. They're like, you know, a tenner each, just to have when you lose your mojo, just slam them together. They go together really easily. You know, it's there's no interior to do. You know, you've got a nice little model. I think anything where you can finish something, actually see the result, is a really good kind of fix to losing your mojo. Yeah. So I know for the channel, one of the things I've done which helps is those 1 hour challenges that I do. Because you know you've got an hour, no matter what, right? So just slamming something together, and you're not really too concerned about how it looks because it's the kind of process, it's the fun. I think sometimes the reason I lose my mojo is I can get too involved in what I'm projecting into the future about what it's going to be like and like how much work I've got to do to get there and like all of the stuff that I want to do if it's not going quite how I want it to. So I'm overthinking it. Whereas something like that, changing genre, going to something simple, you know, doing something in a quick build, just breaks you out of that. And then if you've got something to see at the end of it, you feel good about that. And it's just like, actually, and that can kind of give you that energy. And then you can go back to your other stuff with kind of that renewed, okay, well, I've put this big aircraft down because I've got to do the interior. Let's just spray it up, get it weathered, you know, do the chipping, put it together, and then crack on. So, yeah, I think, as other people have said, changing subject, changing genre, doing something quick can all give you that energy.
Yeah. Changes, changing genre. But also, I do see the people who don't seem to suffer from the Mojo builds. Those are 4 or 5 kits on the go, and I'm not that way inclined. I seem to have one kit I have on the bench, and if I got 10 minutes, I run up to it and do something to it. If you know what I mean.
I don't know, because I usually have a lot on the go, and in some ways, sometimes that can actually be worse, because then you kind of have that pressure in the back of your mind, thinking, well, actually, I've got like 6 of those projects waiting, or 7 or more, and that can actually get into a kind of a negative spiral. But, I think actually now Plastic Alchemist is on, what he's been doing in his live builds of something like quite fun and very different is a good way to get out of it as well, with his multicolored gnat.
Gnat.
Go on then, Mini. What have you been doing on your live streams?
I've been doing a strange gnat. So I have a fallen gnat in 70-second scale.
Yeah.
That you can see with seats are rather different from the usual. Interior color is definitely very unusual, as well as the headrest. So all I do is let the chat run loose, and you guys decide whatever you want. Let me know and I'll build it. So that's what we've been doing. The wraparound of.
I would like I would like a plain built in the colours of Red Bull, please. That'll be a good one to do. Have a tornado in the colours of Red Bull and all the decals of Red Bull.
Well, we do this is the silly build. So I try to get a nice project in, like we done with Electric Lightning that we done on stream. So it took us 6 streams to do it, and once we finish, we start this one just to decompress. And then I think the next one will be the Glossar Meteor, that 172nd from the Airfix Club member. So that will be done properly, and I'll be explaining everything. And then we go on to the next silly build, which we haven't decided yet. But whatever the chat challenged me to, off we go. This one, the wraparound, will be definitely different, to say the least. Let's put it this way: we have this bottle that should go on it. So so we go with that. Whatever people decide.
You've received your paints from Outlaw, I guess?
Yes, I did.
Have you built a model with them yet?
Not yet. It's all in here, all in hand. I've showed people already. I can show you as well. And this is a good Mojo builder as well. So I have my paints in here. Yeah. And I have these in here as well.
That's fair play. I thought you may have done it with the Mark V Spitfire, the new starter set one.
No, this is the one that was in hand. When James asked me, I said, I have this one here. So he said, so off we go. So this is a good Mojo builder as well. You can do it in a weekend if that. Yeah. But I'm planning to start tomorrow. I had to change my work hours at work, so it doesn't help, because I don't finish till 6 o'clock in the afternoon now. But getting there slowly but surely. But definitely these silly builds on live stream, they are great fun. Great fun.
Blue Street Customs says he has 2 big wood sail ships, a big plastic sail ship, a Huey, 3 all-out custom vehicles, and a Nout. Because that's a Nat, I guess. That's what he's got on his bench. I've just got the Scout. I've got the new Ferret Scout on my bench, and that's it.
I probably can top up that. We have just in reach of hand. This one.
Is that the Batmobile?
No, this is the Pagani Huayra.
It looks like a Batmobile on the top, doesn't it?
And we have this one as well. And this is what I can reach without moving from the chair. I try to.
Wow. So, have you done the original Airfix, KT? And is that the Gecko one?
No, this is the Gecko. I'm never got the Airfix one.
Why is that any reason?
No, this one was offered to me by Crazy Locha. He knew that I want to be a Katie, so he offered me this one, but I didn't got hold of the Katie ambulance. Although I want to get hold of one, just to see how they compare to build.
Yeah, I've not heard anyone who's built both yet tell me how they got on.
Yeah, this one is going a treat. Personally, I think there's too much into it, PE wise, but makes a different touch.
Yeah.
But will be good to know and test building the Airfix one and see how good they are. So how they compare to each other. But I will get the Airfix one definitely, mate. Definitely.
I was going to say the one that talk about Mojo builds and stuff, and I always find starter sets as a really good angle to get back into. If you lost your Mojo, because you don't have to worry about the paint; it's just there in front of you. Just get on with it, And I know it humble paint, but sometimes needs must, and if you water them down, all right, you can get a good enough finish on them, most definitely. Celtic West says the magic number for me is 3 builds, all different subjects. If you get fed up with one, you can switch to another. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's one way of looking at it. Hello, Mr. Parker. How are you?
Fine, mate.
So, have you had much of a mojo when it comes to scale modeling? Have you struggled to get back into doing it?
There's zero happening at the moment, but when I used to build prolifically, I used to have something like 25 kits on the go at any one time.
Wow.
That beats me.
Yeah.
25.
You just work on something that you fancy, and then you do a bit more to something else, and then you go back to it. But you're never in a situation where you're waiting for paint to dry or you're waiting for glue to dry. You just work on something else.
Wow, it's a fair shout. Still though, 25. See, not being thingy, how do you store 25 kits?
They used to be all out on a large table.
Wow. Because my bit is that I would leave something for a month or two, come back to it, and there'd be a bloody missing undercarriage wheel or something. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, it used to get quite crowded on the table. I can remember I was doing the Airfix B29. At the same time, I was doing a 30-second scale Thunderbolt. At the same time, I was doing the HMS Repulse. It was quite crowded on the table at times.
I'd love to build a boat. I really would like to. Well, not a ship, but a ship.
They're a lot easier than people think.
Yeah.
You have to follow a golden rule, and then you'll get a good result.
What's the golden rule?
Paint the deck and the hull after you put the hull and the decks together, and then paint everything else on sprue, and then just put it all on the ship.
Oh.
Then you've got the areas to mess about with.
Yeah. See, Annette McCaw, you've hit the nail on the head. That's me. That is me. If I try doing more than one kit at a time, I end up feeling a bit overwhelmed. Don't get me wrong. I've got some on my shelf here that I have done, but that's because I'm pissed off with them, and the thought of doing them it's like, you know what I mean? I'm like, no.
Yeah, but if you say you've done a little bit of work on, I mean, for instance, the Airfix Seeking, right?
Yeah.
And you've put that aside to dry, or you're waiting for paint to dry, just get that item down that cheesed you off a couple of months ago and just have a look at it. You'll be surprised. You might go back and just do a little bit of work, even if it's half an hour.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. But there you go. This is what we're going to talk about. Mojo is, I said I just had 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I was like, but I've got the other added pressure. I don't think people realise what a bugger it is to film a build. Right the way through. Yeah. I've been working on the Scout last night. I finished at 2 o'clock last night, 3 o'clock on the Scout, and I started like about 9, 10 o'clock. I did like a full 5 hours, and I'm there because I found that if I do half an hour, then stop the recording, put it to my computer, go back, start the recording again, I roughly know what I'm doing. So I do it 30-minute stumps. But sometimes I'm there and I'm moving the camera to get the right angle. And sometimes I'm doing stuff and I forget the camera's running and I've missed the spot where I'm gluing something in that was important. these things put pressure on, and sometimes that affects me with my Mojo. Thinking, I've got to film this for YouTube.
Absolutely.
You'll have to fill me in a bit here because I must have missed. Which Scout is it you're building?
The Airfix ferret Scout.
Oh, sorry. Right, I've got you.
Stainless ferret.
I thought you meant the Westland Scout.
No. I'm doing the, and it's going together a bit of a dream, really. That's it, mostly. All that underneath. See, I thought I was being cocky because I was assuming that all this will be a different color. All the workings will be all different. So I thought I'll spray this all. I'll put the primer on and I'll just spray inside the wheel arches green because I think if you get them done first, but no, obviously all of it gets painted green underneath. It's all the same one color. There's not many colors involved. I was saying these little things at the side here, they were a bit of a bugger to get in, but I like the way that they've put them on instead of it being on a sprue, and then you say it's like that on a sprue, and then you cut between here 1, 2. They've gone the other way, so it's like it looks like that sort of. I'll get it. So they look like this on there. Can you see that there? There you go. If I put my hand up.
Yeah, I've got you.
Yeah. But they do the other way. Normally, you get like 2 legs. You've got to cut through the legs where the little recess is, isn't it? They don't, which is quite good. But it's, as it says, going together like a little. It's really good. I'm really impressed with it. So,
it's like the neutral engineering.
Yeah, they thought about it. Instructions are pretty good. So I'm just happy with it. And as I said, I put the skirts on last night, and the other, got this around the edge. What green
have you applied under there? Like,
what green have I using? Do you know what? Which one is it? I'm using the medium green. That one there. This is all Outlaw, by the way. Using that medium green, and I don't think it's too far off. I mean, people may query it, but who cares? Green's green, isn't it? But
more or less. Yeah.
I don't know what the green is on this one. They've used
because a lot of British Army armor was sort of a dark bronze green, wasn't it?
This is it. Yeah, 75. It should be 75 matte bronze green, right?
There you go.
But I don't think that's too. Well, it's more green actually. Now put up looking at it. When I looked at it like this, I thought that don't look too different, but actually it's fucking awful, isn't it? Anyway, I'm doing it in this color because that's the only color I've got. But matte bronze green. And when you look at the box art, what have done with the box art again?
The old Humbrol 75 coat is a pretty close match.
Yeah, that's
if you look at that. If you look at that,
like a NATO green.
Yeah.
Well, it dries. I don't know. See the color. Oh, maybe I got the color wrong. Anyway, I don't care. It's gonna look like that green, all right? I'm not too fussed about it being a matte olive green or whatever.
It's been out in the sunshine for a couple of years, isn't it?
Say it's a natal green, would you? I think I have a natal green somewhere.
The old Humbrol coat 75 was very close.
Well, natal green is the same color as medium green, according to this. It's very similar.
End of the day,
anyway, it doesn't matter, does it really?
When you get the decals on it, it'll look all right.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
Of course it will. So yeah, I'm just spraying it up ready. It's I'm not here for accuracy. I'm here just to build the model to see how well it goes together and film it. Obviously,
it's a bit like me. I've never been a brilliant modeler. I've always been quite lazy at times.
Yeah,
but I just enjoy it.
Yeah, what have you got there, John?
This is the Mr. Color bronze green. It was laying down, so it's not completely mixed. But
I don't know whether you'd really
close.
I don't know whether you'd really notice it when it comes. I'm just playing up to your. I don't know. I think when I said, once you get a lot of, if you put a load of dust on it, a little bit of cursed dust on
absolutely.
it, it'll lighten it up anyway, won't it? So
it all fades and gets chipped and worn and weathered. So, like John mentioned, it doesn't really matter anyway, as long as it's sort of an armor green.
Modern Minutes is in the chat. Nice to see you, mate. And he said a Ferris Scout does look like fun, but I really don't need any more kits, mate. Collect them and do an auction. That's what I'm doing anyway, but not tonight. I haven't got any kits for tonight. I'm just so Wayne Model Builder, is there something I can add on my airline to stop twist in my airbrush supply line, as it's pissing me off?
If you use quick fit fittings, then the line can twist around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quick fit. So on my airbrush,
Like this.
Yeah.
So it just twists around there.
Yeah, you got that too. And they're the push fit. And so when it does that, your airbrush can spin around and around.
Yeah.
Good shout. Good
Good
shout on that one.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Would love the new Sea King, but I've got way too many kits in the stash to do. Not as quick as I used to be either with commissions and such. Yeah, with commissions you've got to get it bang on, haven't you? So
Right.
It's one of them. But anyway, Sonny, what if you were to name a kit that you've done just recently as a Mojo build, and I'm talking about not just ease of it, but excitement about doing it, what kit would you say to people to build?
Well, to be honest with you, the one I did was I just slapped a load of crap together. It was that T54. Well, mind you, it was more of in between waiting for stuff to turn up. But it was that T55 and just raided my spares box. I get it out, but I haven't got it to hand. But yeah, I just raided the spares box and just slapped a load of stuff and made something just completely random. Did you?
So you did a bit of kit bashing then, did you?
So, well, not in a fashion, yeah. But I mean, to be fair, the tank itself was a T55. Oh, I think the only thing I actually changed on it was the gun barrel. But everything else just got stuff out of spares, stowage, and just made some bits and bobs, and it's kind of like a apocalyptic type tanky thing. It was just something a bit of fun, really, to just to faff around with. But yeah, sometimes I can actually go the opposite way. I'll actually go into making something more difficult rather than easier as a Mojo build sometimes.
Oh, fair play.
It's a bit more of a challenge to it than just. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I have made something simple, but sometimes just like no, I want a challenge. I want something proper. You know, that's going to tax me a little bit.
What would you recommend, Alex, for a Mojo build? If you know, well, so what's been a kit that you've done recently that's excited you and has got you out of your funk? Is that what they call it when you get like they call it a funk, don't they? It's a crap word. It's a crap word. I've got a funk on. It's like fuck off. That's what you've got. The word funk.
Never say that to somebody who has a funk on, because it really
that's right. Yeah.
Especially if you're married to them or going out with them.
Yeah, I've got a funk on.
Do you know? I mean, I think. I mean, for me, the Airfix F35B is a really good one because it is such a simple kit. You know, and again, I did it as a 1 hour challenge. I did it as a 1 hour starter kit challenge, which was interesting.
And how'd you get on?
You can build and paint it in under an hour.
Wow.
So not decals, but if you can spend an hour on decals. But to be honest, I mean, for me, it could be anything. I mean, not even like actual plastic models either, like a quick build type thing. You know, just something that is a bit different, that diverts you, but it's still kind of model related, because then it kind of, you know, if you're doing something like a Lego type kit, you're kind of building it together, so you're still doing some of the building it kind of bits. But then it also, you know, you kind of think, if this, if only this was a plastic kit, I could do this and that. So it kind of guides you back into that, plastic model building thing rather than just, doing some random bits.
Yeah.
But yeah, the F-35B, the Airfix starter kit, is a good one. I think that's got me out of a bit of a rut recently.
Well, I was just saying, that I think the Airfix starter set tanks, the Sherman Firefly, and the Tiger One is defo up there for me as starter set material, as in Mojo, because the thing is that you can build those tanks up within 45 minutes. I mean it, it's just bump and it's done. And you could paint it, weather it, massage your ego with it. It's and a 172, it's a good chunk of plastic.
Yeah.
And also I don't know why people don't build those starter set tanks, if they want to practice their weathering on. Because you can get some really good, because the detail's still there. It's just it's just small. So they have filled it. Techman good here, where it says, "What made me want to get back into modelling?" And this is so true. This is why Airfix do it. Was the Airfix tent at Yeovilton Air Show a few years back when I was showing my GG. Don't know what GG is. You could build a starter kit Spitfire on the day. I got to start again. Yeah, that's it. They've done that a few. They do those make and paint, don't they? Build and paint sessions, don't they, at these air shows? And I think it's a great way that the parents could drop the kids off and you go off and look at the planes or something like. But I see that they've now got a program now for them to be involved with the Cubs and the Scouts. They've announced that they're often they've got like a partnership between the Cubs and the Scouts. So I suppose you can get your own little Airfix badge. Maybe I should shrink my little models badge down and they can have one of them if they complete a kit like they put on their Cubs uniform.
You could show them how to scratch build a London taxi.
yeah, definitely. Yes, you can, mate, James. If you send him the link, you can do that, mate. So I've just seen your comment. If Goldfield wants to pop in, he can pop in.
He hasn't got a mic, but he just because he's building something old.
And he got a tank.
He's building an AMT Millennium Falcon.
If he, I'm gonna say if he gets a mic, he can come in next week if he wants to get a mic.
Yeah,
he can come in if he has a mic. It needs to have people talking in the chat, really, not just have not a mic. If that's okay, go for it. Painting, definitely. Just look at these egg kits. Just not got one out yet. I like the look of these egg kits. Yeah, I think they're good. They're good little Mojo build because they're 12 parts, and away you go, bang.
They're good fun to build.
Yeah, you've built quite a few, haven't you, on your channel, Nini?
Yes, I have one here in reach. This one is waiting for paint.
I'll spray that, no?
Yeah, spray. I've done the Su-27, the SR-71, and the F-14. All of them like planes.
Oscar Modeling says bad Mojo fixed choice is a 1 to 200 ship.
By Mini Art.
Mini Art.
That'd take a lifetime to build.
A Rebel 172nd HMCS Snowberry.
Oh yeah.
Was that a dog shit kit as well? Was it?
No, it was quite nice.
Flash City.
Flash City, was it?
Yeah.
Is Flash really the be all and end all of a kit?
Don't bother.
It depends, really, innit? If it's little tiny parts and it looks like a zit where you've got all this flash around it and there's the little part you need in the middle, that becomes a bit of a ball ache. But then again, I've ended up cutting out parts using a knife instead of just sanding it, just cutting it around, being very careful. And doing a bit of fettling, as they call it. Cool, we got some words tonight. Funk, fettling. God. Yeah, you do that. My last Mojo build was my first kit from a manufacturer. Rubicon models, the Bofors 40mm gun. But that's a good kit in itself, isn't it? That Rubicon. That's been banged out as being a really good kit to build. Armor Fast model kits are really good because they only consist of 5 parts, don't they? You know. So yeah, there's some good choices. I would also say the Airfix Churchill would also be a bad motor, but it's vintage classic, isn't it? It's a vintage classic kit. That. Is it right that Humble just purchased 25% of Warlord games? Yes, they have. It's not Humble though. Hornby Hobbies have invested, I think it's 1.6 million nicker into it. You know, I've asked the question. Nobody seems to know why. I personally think it's a bad move because nobody at Warlord Games would use Humble paints. They love all the others, don't they? They love the Vallejo stuff and everything. And I'll tell you what is big is that 2 thin coats. That's going to be a big one in the future. I tell you. So I don't. There's a lot of money, but it wasn't. That was funded by the investment company behind Airfix, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Phoenix? Is it called
Phoenix? Yeah.
You want to look at the shares at Hornby. Just look who owns the shares, and then come back to me. All right. But I think it's an investment by the Phoenix, the owners of, or the biggest shareholder, the private thing group. They put the money in, but I'd like to know is whether that is actually a loan to Hornby, and if that does, that would probably drop the share price, wouldn't it? But also, they said they were going to invest even more into it, so I'm not convinced by that sale. To be fair, really not convinced by that buy. Mike C Photography. I'm currently building the Airfix starter set, the McLaren 765 LT, a great kit for a change from aircraft and armor. I might have a go and paint it a different color. Yeah, that's the beauty with those starter sets. I've got the Land Rover here somewhere. What do I do with the Land Rover? Here it is. That's the new one.
Yep.
And to be fair, this was also designed by Ethan as well, you know. The only thing I don't like is that it's on this sprue. You see that? There's no, what do you call it?
Frame.
It's very, very vintage classic-esque. And, you know, bits keep falling. I've already dropped the seat off it already. Hang on. If I just run over the glass somewhere.
He's dropped it.
Shit. Oh dear. I know.
I've got monster in action.
But that's what I mean. It's come out like that. So whether they're trying to save money on the plastic, I don't know. But it's just that, you know, 2 bits are just falling off that, and I can't find it now. So
they are saving polar bears with less plastic.
That's it. It's just there now.
Daniel's in the green
maybe
room.
they're just trying to cut down on the plastic spray because of wastage. Because you can't recycle it, can you? Allegedly. Now,
Well, you can make filler out of it.
I've got enough sprue glue to last a lifetime. It's what I put in my. Well, you know, I wrote an article on my Substack about it, and I just said, you know, there's only so much sprue. I've even got I've got colour for each now. So, you know, I've got quite a few bits of sprue. I've got a yellow sprue glue now, which I've put somewhere around here. I'm not doing very well tonight. I keep losing my stuff. But I've done a yellow one now, so not a yellow, but like a brownie yellow, which they one of the start. I think it was the Tiger 1 came in. I just cut it up. They need a lot to make it, and then put 3 tubs. I got one of these Tamiya jobbies. Filled it half full of the polystyrene cement from Airfix, and then just cut up one of those sprues. And I got my own sprue glue somewhere, but where I put it to, I don't know.
Crunch.
Somewhere around. Anyway, well, I'm a bit annoyed about that because I've lost that part. Where is that fucking part gone? Anyway, I'm going to be there now for the next 5 hours looking for a part.
Do you know what I use Sprue for?
What do you use it for?
I'll give you a clue. And I'll show you a red stripe, very rare Airfix kit at the same time.
For stands. Oh, for yeah, thread.
For the rigging.
Rigging.
Yeah.
Friggin' rigging. Yeah.
You can cut it to the size you want. You can fit it in between the struts, in between the fuselage, and it's easy as pie to cement in place.
Yeah.
It takes the paint.
See, for rigging, I prefer the easy line. I think it's easier.
Yeah, a
than
lot
the
of
straight
people.
through.
I find it hard to get easy line though.
Yeah, it's same here, John.
Well,
You have now the AK and the Ammo MiG ones as well.
So I'll use that one. It's actually quite good.
which one
Yeah.
do you use?
Which one, Sully?
I've used both actually, but the ammo one's pretty good. The elastic ammo.
All right, 'cause I'm in the market for some. So
Yeah.
I have the Ammo one somewhere around here. And I have the easy one as well.
There you go. That's the it's a bit tight.
There you go. Ammo MiG rigging. How much is that then? Do you know?
Oh, off the top of my head, I can't remember.
I think it's 8 quid.
It's what?
8 quid, I believe. So,
Yeah, I was going to say it's over. It's definitely over a £5. I think it's £6. It's definitely over £6.
I wonder what it is. I wonder what it actually is. It must be
Well,
some sort.
It's like an
I'm going to
elastic.
shop for some.
It's like
I have the AK one.
No, I've used that one before, but I keep getting the ammo one because I tend to find that's easy to get hold of for some reason.
Yeah.
Wayne Welly, did anyone see about Audi or Lidl had Revell Mustangs recently? Did they?
I've never
Nobody's
seen
mentioned that to me.
No.
Never saw that down there. And I'm a sod for the middle aisle. I really am. I can go into Aldi or Lidl to get a pint of milk and come out with a DVD player.
Yeah, I'm the tools.
My kitchen is full of egg poachers and mashers and all sorts because I end up going down that frigging middle aisle.
So you got those shoes over the top of your shoes you're wearing.
Yeah, it's almost just like Temu's become my Aldi middle aisle now. Looking on Temu, I'm getting all sorts of stuff from Temu. Honestly, I was that sad. I even bought this little miniature printer, right? So I can go on my phone. Say I need a label, right? I can go on my phone. I'm just switch him on. There you go, and then I can go on my little warp print. It's called. And say, for instance, I want to do a sticker or a label. So let's just let's print a picture, shall we? Photos. Let's do a picture of this whippet, right? So there you go. There's the whippet, okay? And I can just go done, and then insert, and then done, and then print picture. And then it prints out, what's this way? It prints out a little black and white picture of my tank. And I got that from Temu. I got no other reason for it than it will just print out a little sticker. So, and there you go. There's my little tank in there. I can just take it. But I can do labels and all sorts for this. And I paid a £5 for it. A £5. There you go. There's a little sticker now. And that's me. That's me, the Temu. I'm not going to buy anymore. I've actually undone the app at the moment because I don't want to buy anything else. But there's a little sticker of my my tank. You know, I bought these little things here, little magnets with hooks on. You know, I'm terrible. I really am terrible. If I see anything that looks like a tool, it'd be good. What was that? Sorry, somebody said the Revell Mustang. Is it a car? Is it? Was it a car? I didn't see no Revell Mustang in.
It's just Wayne. Nobody cares about Wayne. That's fine.
Oh, leave Wayne out of it. Wayne's a legend.
No, it's not. He was trying to
yes,
get me
he
to do a 15-hour stream. So
Yeah. Works better than a 3D printer, I can name. Yes, Tiger's put in the chat about me doing a live stream of my Humbrol printer. I will do that, Tigers. All right. I will use my Humbrol printer and just I'll do an overnight. I'll have the camera set up and let it print overnight and have it film and print something. What?
that's a Twitch.
Printer ASMR.
Yeah.
You know that's a thing on Twitch. People just leave the printers running and leave the stream on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
It'll be
watch
like a
people
bit of a-
sleeping on Twitch. You
Yeah,
can
I
watch
know.
anything.
You know what astonished the most is one of the streams that they used to be. It was a jar of Marmite spinning, and they used to average 75 viewers.
Amazing.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that tells you about.
It's like one of the chaps at the local Scale Model Club I go to has recreated these. Okay, this is obviously for sprues, and he only makes them and sells them for the people at the club. I would love to get this design and print my own. I think this is a fantastic because it's curved as well. They're actually curved. Like normally they're a lot straight, but these are curved like sprues. But you can put all your. This is the 1/35th one, but it's got it absolutely pucker, so it goes in the sprue and that's it. Just hold it there. I think these are absolutely. I'd love to be able to recreate these on that printer. I doubt I'll be able to, but I'd like to be able to do it. Well, yeah. So they all go on here, and you have them. Whoops, that's a bit shit. Not doing very. I'm not very QVC at this. It should be. It's not flat. I'm trying to do it at an angle, so you keep all your sprues in there, like just pull out the ones that you need. So I'd love to be able to do that, but yeah, that could be a channel, Humbrol 3D printer channel, and then just have peg after peg after peg after peg being made in this. Honestly, I don't know.
But just notice how he only got empty sprues, just not to lose any more parts.
Yeah, crumbs. Well, that's all the bits for this scout that I'm building. So, but yeah. Well, so hopefully get more. 3D printing farming is a good sideline. It is, but I'm not convinced by the electricity involved. There must be a lot of electricity involved in that. So when it comes to the energy usage, they're not really designed for that, are they? Being cheap on the electricity.
Well, Umbral one definitely not.
Couldn't you make diorama bases with that thing?
Do you know what really disappoints me is that when they were selling this product, that printer, they said they were going to be sending out things to make with it.
Yeah.
I've seen Sweet FA from them. Even if they had a sprue thing that you can hold your sprues on, that'll be a thing. But when I was talking to somebody, even though the plate size is that that sort of size, the actual print is this size, if you know what I mean. Even though the tray's like bigger, the actual size of it is about that. So you can't go much bigger than that, really. But they could have really done well. But as soon as I put that video up, there was 8 or 9 comments saying that printer is on Amazon without a Humbrol badge on it for 70-80 quid, like half price. So who knows what they're going to do? It's very quiet though. I think you can buy them now for about 120 quid. So
you've been scammed.
Yeah. What am I saying? That watching Marmite is the yeast of your worries. I like that.
Oh, God.
What was that?
You guys that have the MIG ammo line, what's the diameter? Is it the 0.01, 0.03? What?
I have the.
This is for a 1/32 scale World War One plane.
So 1/32. Give me a second.
That's the stuff there.
Sorry, I've
It
used
doesn't
0.3
stage
for
now.
mine.
I have the AK one.
Yeah.
Which is for 135, 132nd, and 148 rig, but doesn't say the
diameter.
No, I can give you the AK number. You can have a
Yeah.
look if you wish. It's
The,
AK 9137.
Okay, hold on. What is it?
AK 9137.
It's AK though, isn't it? We don't do AK.
I'm sorry, Moss. I'm sorry. I know your feelings about it. I do apologize.
Kelly, you suggested the 0.03.
Yeah, that's what I've used that for actually 32nd and 48th. It seems to be all right.
All right.
Maybe go. I think they do a 0.4, which may be better. It's hard to say really because sometimes you got to figure that sometimes it actually would look a lot finer in the larger scale. So it's what I did. I think I bought 2 or 3 different ones and just saw what fit,
Okay.
what looked right. That's what I did.
Thanks, guys.
But I still used them, so it wasn't a waste.
Aaron Nichols, anyone know of a good color conversion? Instructions are to mix Tamiya XF9 and XF50. Don't know what that would be in Vallejo.
There's a
Hobby color converter on Android.
yeah. Exactly.
There you go.
Thank you.
What is
That's
XF9
exactly
and
what I
what
was
is
going to say.
XF50?
There's an app on the Android. That is,
Yeah, Android. Yeah, Hobby color converter is the one.
Yeah.
I think
Wayne
that's
Welly's
me.
made of money.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Mark F. Search Sprue Holder in Thingiverse for a 3D print file. Yeah, but he's actually the ones from there. Apparently, the way it's designed, he's actually added on these bits at the end and this bit underside, and he's made them curve. So he downloaded it and converted it for himself, and now he's selling them at the model club. But I offered her, said, look, I will gladly sell these for you on my channel because I think they're epic. And he went, no, I don't want the aggravation of printing them. I can see that, but I wonder if maybe I would twist his arm and try and get one.
It's like build 20 and send them you, and then you just reorder.
Yeah. Amazon for Humble 3D printer. Only one left in stock. More on the way. Currently has a 4-star rating. 1 review, but no comment. Yeah. Probably just saying, oh, it arrived in quick time. That's what normally happens, isn't it? It's unusual to mix Tamiya colours. Do you know what? It isn't really. Their colour range isn't all that, is it?
No, it's not.
It really isn't.
No.
It's on par with Revell. To be fair, Humble have got a really good range, but they've started to slice it down now, haven't they? They're not doing so many now, which is a shame. But yeah, Matt at Model Minutes has just done a video where he's actually airbrushed using Humble paints. I've yet to watch it. I'm going to watch it this week. See how well he got on with doing the Gen 2s and how well they airbrushed.
I think the answer, Moss, is variably.
Have you tried it? Have you spraying the Humble?
No, I watched his video.
Yeah.
Some seem to work well, some not.
They don't spray that bad. They're not as bad as people think. If you get the mix right, they spray fairly well-ish. If you have paint retarder as well, you can get a fairly decent result with it.
But why would an airbrusher worry about that? All they want is get the paint, add the thinners, then blow. Surely, adding paint retardant and everything just make. The only time I use paint retardant, or I have done, is when I want to get a glossy finish, a proper high gloss finish. Give it time to really level and. Well, I don't know.
Umbral 2nd gen airbrush.
Let me get you bigger. And where is it? There you are. Let's make you bigger. Let's have a look. Go on then. Oh, that looks fucking terrible.
Oh,
It was an amateur spraying, so it can't look that good, can it?
Yeah.
No, this is second gen. It doesn't look that. They are harder to work than normal paints, definitely. If you compare, no, they are not for the. No, they are not as easy as a Tamiya, but they are on par with Vallejo for myself.
You reckon that? Well, because you don't like Vallejo anyway, do you?
No.
No.
Wait, let me correct that. I don't like Vallejo to airbrush, but for brush painting, they are awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I get that, yeah.
spot
I want to
on.
get these. I had a go at using the two thin coats at Bovington Tank Museum when, what's it called, was there? Models for Heroes were there with Airfix. And I was really impressed, but the paint range is not for scale modeling, it's for wargaming. But I was given a figure to paint and I put it on, and it was very, very good. Very good. True, that is true. Yeah, I do say that if you use retardant when the surface is quite big, but yeah. But have you tried those outlaw paints yet, Nunu?
Not yet, Moss. I have the pot that you gave me that I want to do a comparison how good it flows through different airbrushes. Not that I have many, but
yeah, fair enough.
I want to try it through a 0.2, 0.4, and so on, and cheap airbrush, expensive airbrush, all the whatnots. But again, I'm short with time as heck. You guys notice I came in late, but that's the plan. I want to get it through at least 4 of my airbrushes, from the most expensive to the cheapest, and from the thinnest needle I have to the biggest one. But
I sprayed it using this at a Scale Model Club, and
I would like to get hold of one to do that as well.
20 quid on the Audi website when I got mine. They're about 10 now, or you can get them on Amazon for about 15 quid. But no jesting, flew through here fine, absolutely fine. Remember, this is only a single action, so the air is constantly being pushed through. So all you can do, just wait. I reckon it goes through. It goes through too fast. You couldn't use this for delicates or precision. It's like you press the button, press it back a little bit, and it shoots out paint. So it's not the easiest, but it's worth a go. Did I give you a pot, Alex, of outlaw paint?
Yeah.
Did you try it at all?
I haven't yet, no.
Why not?
I'm still waiting for James.
We don't love you anymore, Moz. We used to love you,
but
not anymore, mate. I'm sorry.
It's a weird colour though. I had some double ups I gave out, but you're going to be stocking it in your shop, aren't you?
Yeah, that's why it's a touchy subject, because I haven't got any testers. So
did he send
James
you no
was meant
testers
to give me a
out?
call on Sunday, and he hasn't yet. So.
Tell you what, though, mate, he's busy on the old way, isn't he? Like, you know, so. Oh, he's got more spare change. Let's have a quick look through the.
That's fine, but he's got my money, so.
Oh, he did say he's working on the railway, but I did hear somebody say, your pipe there, €1 behind him, like, you know. Yeah. It's a good app to mix colours to formulate a percentage, a great tool for the hobby. The name is Real Color Mixer for Android. You can take a picture with camera and reproduce color for any paint you use.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
That's on Hobby Color Converter as well.
Is that on the iPhone as well? I guess it would be.
No.
Most apps are all on iPhone.
Android.
Just Android, is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That does surprise me.
The old Galaxy.
No, it's the superior thing, Moss. You'll convert eventually.
I'm up
That's why I have my trustworthy Android next to me.
Yeah.
None of this
Sending
Steve
all that
Jobs
data
shite.
back, sending all that data back to the Chinese servers. Well done. Says me they're using Temu. You know.
Yes, I was gonna say. It says
Yeah.
Yeah, you have all sorts of things. Yeah, I think we can get to take the picture. Don't know where, but I'm pretty sure you can.
That's on the iPhone version, I think, mate.
Yeah, somebody has an iPhone version. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, it's this one, as you can see.
I'm trying to look for it now. Where is it? It's called the
Hobby Color
Real
Converter.
Color
Hobby
Mixer
Color
for
Converter.
Android. Real Color Mixer. Oh, here you go. Real Color. Oh, yeah, you are right. It's only on Google Play.
Blimey, we were right, John.
For once.
For once, yeah.
Searching App Store a minute. Let me search in the App Store now. Oh, Real Color Mixer. Simulate mixing real paints. Is that the one?
No. On Hobby Color Converter. Yeah. I don't know if you can see my phone, Moss.
Is that the one there you want about? Real Color Mixer.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one, is it? Well, I'll get that one. Written by a Polish fella. And which one have you got there?
Hobby Color Converter?
Hobby Color Converter.
Yeah.
Hobby Color.
It's fantastic.
If you press the pipette on the bottom left, like so.
It's not on iPhone.
He's telling you.
It's just Android.
Of course not.
I mean,
just Android.
maybe it's color spelled without the U in it because you Americans are bastards and don't use U's in your words.
He's calling me American now. Fuck, I'm out. All right, sorry. No offense to you, John.
There we go. Hobby Color Converter. Got it, man.
Hobby Color.
Yeah. And John, if you when it comes to the main screen, you have a pipette on the bottom left. A little pipette symbol.
Moss, do you want to put me on full screen? This is the...
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll put you on full screen. Which one is it? There you go. Boom.
Whoops.
Hang on. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, John, if you press the pipette on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one.
If you press... Yeah, it should come as asking you to allow access to your camera, and wherever you scan, it will tell you the. No, not that one.
Okay, hold on.
Go back.
Oh, I see it.
Yes,
so it's this right here.
Yeah, if you press that, you'll ask to have access to your camera.
Yep.
Say yes.
Allow. Yeah.
And now, wherever you point at, it will show you the color that is.
Oh, right. It's the 6 hexadecimal or whatever. It's scrambling all over the place, but
yeah, because that mat you've got there is weathered, mate.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So it's looking for what the color is.
Yeah.
And, the RGB value.
I've just gone on my iPhone. I'm putting the word hobby color, and I've got Kim Kardashian's Hollywood game come up. So that's really.
What have you been searching?
It's got all the. It's got AK, Alclad, MIG, Army Painter, British Standard, Citadel, Green Stuff World, Gunza, Hataka, Humbrol, Italeri, Life Color, MRP, Mission, RAL, RLM, Revel, Tamiya, Testers, Vallejo, Zvezda, and it'll tell you which paint you can enter it, and then it'll tell you which one's closest. But you got to have an Android. Sorry.
Yeah.
That really does surprise me.
See, this is why I have the boss of two worlds.
Yeah.
Android for scale modeling, iPhone for the normal day-to-day job.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone's on iPhone now, aren't they? Everyone's on iPhone.
Yeah, I just got
I have an iPhone.
S21 just killed the mojo for me for Samsung, so I had to change. S21 killed me. I love my Samsungs. I have the S9 Plus, moved to S21, and that was the biggest mistake I made. From the S21 went to iPhone.
I just like the fact that I'm working down here. If I take my MacBook anywhere, it's all on the cloud, so I'm just able to pull stuff off the cloud without really worrying. I love my iPhone. I love Apple.
But it's the same with the Android. You just have to have an OneDrive cloud, and you're good to go. Just do the same thing. But I think just the functionalities of the S21 just kill me. I'm like, no, I need to change.
Did none of you got one that blew up on the plane? I guess no. Which one was that one?
No, it was the Note 7. I wanted one of those because I had the Note 2 and I wanted the Note 7, but they were blowing up airplanes. I was like, better not.
The thing is, though, is that what made me laugh is that they had a little pen that came with it, didn't it? And if you accidentally put it in the wrong way, only once, you would break the mechanism.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
That's how they make their money.
Yep.
It's like, people said, well, when they went to we put his pen in the wrong way, now it's broken. They just went RTFM on them, didn't they? And he goes, well, you never told us. Well, RTFM, So it was really naughty of them, really, because there was a manual there, but they didn't mention which way you put the pen in. It just said push the pen in, and it clicks. Then you click it again, and it pops out again. So,
well, not as naughty as Apple reducing the capability of the batteries, but yes, naughty definitely.
Yeah. Well, people forget that the screens were always Samsung anyway, weren't they?
Yeah.
In the iPhone, the screens were Samsung.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a new phone coming out tomorrow, so I'll be watching that presentation with glee to see what my next new phone's going to be like. Because I get a new iPhone every year, I think. Every 2 years I get one, so put it through the business. iPhone tri-model colors. That's the one I was thinking of, mate. Thank you. I think I've already got that one downloaded. Is that the one I've got downloaded? No, I've got Model Paint 42, actually. Because it's got all the new colours. Oh, wow. So, Umbro have brought out some new colours. Oh, there's loads of colours on the Umbro, isn't there? Ones. Just looking for on all these now of Outlaw Paints. James built model officer built a train, didn't he, to try out the British Railway Outlaw Paint. That'll be a good little yeah, taggers, they are going to change it. USB-C, aren't they? USB-C. So yes, I did. It's at my shipper now. It should go out either Wednesday or Thursday, mate. It's all sorted out. Thank you very much. The only one who hasn't come back to me is Joe Sanchez on the 2 tanks. I've got him a price to ship them to America for him, but he's not got back to me yet. So hopefully he'll get back to me this week. I'm able to ship them out. The other American, I don't know who it was. Was it American or was it abroad? I've shipped one out abroad somewhere this week for about a tenner, so that went as well. So which is good. Just going through the questions. Dan's off. Bye-bye, mate. So anyway, so basically, when it comes to scale modeling, start sets are really good to get rid of your for Mojo builds. Building any old crap is what Sully recommends.
Yep.
John reckons 25 kits on the go to get out of your model. Get out of your fun. John Alex suggests build a 1 to 16th scale motorbike. What do you recommend, James, as a Mojo build? What kit have you built recently that's been really good? And it's like, I'm really glad I did scale modeling.
My go-to kits have usually been Tamiya armor.
Yeah.
148 and the 135th scale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you built all of the Tamiya's 148 range, James?
No.
How many are you missing?
Quite a few.
But you've done a fair few of them, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I'll have to count them. I think it's about 30. There's 105.
30. Wow. I don't even see him for sale that often. You know what I mean? When I go around model shows, 148 is a weird sort of scheme, isn't it? Scale. I wonder if
annoyingly, some of the kits that they haven't done are released in a pack with a plane.
Oh, what, the new ones? The new twin kits?
The twin kits, yeah. Because you can get the Tilly and an RAF plane, and you can get obviously a Jeep and a Mustang.
Yeah.
And a Kettle Red or whatever it is. German ones.
How much are those kits? About 30 quid, aren't they?
Mm.
They don't do starter sets, do they? Tamiya. Yeah. Back again, was watching the how-to videos. I call him the vicar because he has the most reassuring voice. If you want a reassuring voice, mate, you've got to listen to one of John Alex Scale Models' videos.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to sleep, hi there. It's erotic, I tell you. If you're into scale modeling, it's erotic.
Oh, I've said this ever since I've met him. Just
Yeah.
that voice. It's just that voice. It's all I look.
Yeah.
It's always what I look forward to.
Surprised you've not been challenged to do an Audible book, John. Hi,
Yeah.
John Scalio. Morning's here.
My old channel, I did a couple of audio things, and yeah, it puts me to sleep.
Yeah.
Get John to read a few body strippers, and he'll be well away.
Yeah. John Alec, Dry Scale Models, narrating Mills and Boone.
Yeah, I'll never be able to do one of those AI voice things because. Anyways.
Yeah, tell you what, mate. Yeah, don't do that. You know, I get you on my sat nav, like, you know, turn left. I'm like,
Wake up.
John Alec, the voice of radio. I think you would do really well on a podcast, John, to be honest.
Just the way that he starts the videos, it's just surpass everything.
It does. It just, you know, just sit there and listen to John. You know, there's not many people, you know, you can send you to sleep with a comment from Tamiya.
No, it's not even the sleep. You might not have any interest on the model that he's building.
Yeah.
Just the voice just grabs you straight away. Just
grabs you straight away.
Yeah.
I suspect I have a few subs that are
Yeah.
ASMR.
that are in that basket. Yeah.
I was going to say, there's Craig Joe said, John Alec read 50 Shades of Modeling Grey. that could be your life story, John, your memoirs. 50 Shades of Modeling Grey. Oh no, 50 Shades of Olive Drab. 50 Shades of Modeling Drab. Olive Drab.
Olive Drab, yeah.
Olive Drab.
Yeah, that's me.
50 Shades of Tamiya Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
Have they got 50?
I do. I know Tamiya are now releasing more colours. There was a release the other day saying they've added stuff to their range,
especially in their LP and TS range.
Well, LP is, I reckon LP. You know, at the moment, you got your X and your XFs, haven't you? And basically between them, they hit it. The thing about, I don't know whether you find it like I do. Nunu would know what I mean by this, but you can spray LP matte, and then you can spray it again a little bit wetter and get satin. Or if you really want a gloss, you just blow it hard, don't you?
Yeah.
And because LP's so forgiving, you can't really. Well, you can overspray. You know what I mean? You can't really overspray it, can you?
No.
That's the beauty of it. And so you don't need an X and an XF range. If they had an LP range that covered all those, you would be laughing, surely.
Agree to disagree on that one. Because LP range is good, but the smell is not that good. It's like the Outlaw paints, MRPs, Attack. They are good, they are forgiven, but the smell is not the best one. While the XF and the X, when you have an asthmatic wife, it does matter, believe me. Because there's a difference between the divorce and carry on with your marriage. So,
hold a minute. Do you know what, right? I'm sure that, I don't know why you two together. The reason you do Scale Model is because she's going to divorce you and she gave up the fags. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But no, if I carry on using the lacquer paint without having all the doors and windows open, she will.
You haven't got an instruction from them, mate, yet, no?
I have, but I don't like them, so I don't use them.
I use mine. I've got mine in that spray booth there, and it works for the whole room. It's amazing. It so blows it through easy. I get very little smell, and to be fair, I enjoy smelling it. It's a bad thing to say, isn't it? Reminds me of my youth.
I'm gonna ban Wayne Welly. Honest to God, I will.
Yeah.
Wayne is gonna be banned. That's it for life.
Wayne.
That's it. Out. No, but the XF range and the XF and the F, well, whatever. It's good because there's not much smell to it, and you can work with it. And they are, if you dilute them properly, they will be as forgiving as the LP range. The issue with the Tamiya XFs is that people go with the rule that they just fill it up till the bottleneck, and that's it. That's perfectly thin. No, you can go thinner than that, and they will be forgiven as heck.
Yeah. The XFs, I've noticed, have got more pigment than the LPs.
Yeah.
And it's very, very annoying sometimes with their rubber black.
Yes.
Because you can eat a bottle of rubber black in literally no time.
It always made me laugh with the LP paints, because I like to actually hand brush LP paints.
Yeah.
Because you can just if you're, I'll tell you a little trick, right? If you want to do the internals of a wheel, get your brush and flood that area with LP, and then just leave it alone. It will evaporate, and then it won't even go on the black. You know what I mean? That's what I've been doing. Just flood it, and then just leave it, and it dries superb. Really impressed. But I am surprised that LP is a little bit. It's still quite thick to put for your airbrush. You need to thin it down still.
Yeah.
But it was said the only paint I know. Could you have to thin down MRP? Because I've never used MRP.
No.
So
you
MRP
can thin some of them. It's all depends on what you want to paint and how you want to paint and how you paint. SMS paints, you can thin them further. MRP, some of them you can thin them further. Outlaw, I have no experience yet, but once I get it, they say that it's optimized, but all depends how you brush, paint, and all the things. One good video on that is the LPG models video on how to thin paint. and he does similar to what I do. We can go close to 75% ratio from thinner to paint. And
I
you get.
I don't think you could do that with Outlaw, though, mate.
No, definitely not. Don't get me wrong. Each paint is a paint, but with Tamiya, the XF range, you can go as far as 75-25. With like SMS, you can thin them, but just a drop or two of leveling thinner. You can do just 50-50. So you need to know your paints and how you're spraying to know how much you can thin it. But all depends on. Yeah.
No, SMS you do you well for our climate you do have to thin it slightly.
Okay.
Yeah. For it being when it's warm, with the humidity, it'll mess up an SMS paints.
So someone was asking me on the live stream not long ago about the perfect paint ratio to thinner for Hobby Color and Tamiya, and I said there's no perfect paint ratio. What works for me might not work for you. What works in my environment doesn't work in yours. Just I can suggest. I can suggest something, but then you work from there.
All my stuff, all mine's all eyeball. I can never tell anybody. I just go, it looked like that when I put it in.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's what I do. I just put thinner on the cup, and then I add up the paint and mix it up. When I see the consistency is right, off we go. Same thing as the pressure. What pressure you want? I don't know. Pressure start is down there. I don't look at it. I just turn down or turn up as I think is fit.
Yeah.
When you do close up though, you put the pressure right down though, don't you, Nini?
I always do pretty much the same pressure. I work around between 12-15 psi with pretty much all the paint. If you go Vallejo, then yes, you have to crank it up. AK gloss coat, you have to crank it up a little bit, but either close up or further away, all depends on the consistency of your paint.
Yeah, I get that. I do get that. I do get that. Yeah. So, when somebody says to me, what ratios do I do? What is the optimum? And it is like the G spot. It's whatever you find works for you, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, yes. It's like doing appreciating.
Yeah.
My thinner goes 75-25 always on pre-shading, no matter what paint.
Yeah.
And it goes well. For some other people, 50-50 works as good. So all depends on people trying and experimenting.
Scale Modeling writes, John, just so that you know, I stay away through all your videos. And then down he goes, awake. Yeah. But PSI is, I'm exactly. I think the reason why I'm between 12 and 15, so I used to be 18. You see, because I was using Humbro and I was using Vallejo to fire it through, and then when I started using Hataka, I remember you saying, and I remember James from LPJ Models saying, lower the pressure. And I was putting down 12, 15, roughly around 13 psi, 14 psi, and I've never looked back. And I've even put Vallejo through at 13 or 14 psi, but I have thinned it a lot more than what I would initially.
Yeah.
But it just kind of pisses me off that when you see Model Air, this paint is being made for airbrush, and you still have to thin it. I think it's fucking trading standards gone wrong here. Do you know what I mean? And it does make me really angry, because there was a time when I was wondering why I couldn't get Vallejo to spray right, because I was assuming that was what was in the bottle was just pure straighten your airbrush and go. Even Hataka, if you spray the blue Hataka, any blue Hataka, you can spray it through an airbrush without thinning it. Whites and reds, you've got to add good 25 to 30% more thinner in to get it to go for an airbrush nice. So, it's a bit. just kind of, and then you've got Outlaw and MRP who say you can use this airbrush from bottle to airbrush. That's what it should say, but I think Vallejo's lost their way a little bit. And in fact, I was wondering the other day, now that Vallejo have got in with Hella, whether Hella will drop their range of paints or buy Vallejo to put in all their model, to buy into Vallejo as their paint, like Umbro is with Airfix, whether Hella or the company, is it called Models to Go, in it? Or Models? Who owns it? Who owns Hella now?
I think it's a Tallery Moss.
Is it? Sorry, not Hella. Tallery. Hella, not Hella. Tallery. Here you go. This one here.
Yeah,
Tallery.
a German
Whether they'll drop
company.
their paints, whether they'll drop their paint range and just have Vallejo and buy it, because Vallejo wouldn't buy Vallejo outright. So I didn't mean Hella. I meant Tallery. Whether they would do that, Maybe they'll bring out their own Gen 2 or something like that. Vallejo Gen 2, straight from bottle. Because I think that's what a lot of people like with MRP and with Outlaw, with the fact that you just get your pipette into it and straight away you're on it, But
then again, with acrylic paints, it's a bit more difficult. Like, I use AK Real Color lacquer paints.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. You thin them.
Absolutely.
Just absolutely amazing. Try the acrylic 3rd gen. Stay away from it.
Yeah.
Just stay away from it. Just don't even get close to it, because I think it's a problem of the acrylic ones. You need to be more tactile and you need to be more refined, sorting them out. Which the lacquers don't give.
Go ahead, Nuno. I'm sorry.
No. I was gonna say, which lacquer paints don't give you that issue because they are so forgiving.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Their 3rd gen, you really have to use their 3rd gen thinner. Hold on, I have some. It's buried. Anyways, they have a 3rd gen thinner, and it's a I call it detergent, but it's the same kind of thinner that Vallejo has. You shake it and it bubbles. It's a surfactant-based thinner, but that's the only thing that I have found that will work with 3rd gen paints through an airbrush is their 3rd gen thinner.
Yeah, but then they are too fragile, John. Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
The minimum touch, they come off.
They'll come off the surface really easily.
Yeah.
You're moving it around, and
they will come off fairly easy. You can see on here, this purple is 3rd gen, and you can see the corners are already rubbing off.
Really?
So that,
yeah.
It's really flaky.
Did you use that on a primer, did you?
No, without primer.
Yeah. You see, I've only used them. So I have found Ultimate Airbrush Thinner works with Gen, and I always use them on primer. So.
All right. So it might be that I'm doing wrong, but they don't think I'm
just going to say was, do not disregard the washing of kits. If paint comes off a kit, and I know if people say, "I primed it, I didn't even wash it." Honestly, I've done it. I've not washed a kit before, and I've done some spraying and masked up. And when I pulled the mask off, a little bit of paint's come away at one point, and I really do believe that's that fucking release agent they use.
Yeah, but you've got to understand. You've got to understand why the release agent's on the plastic surface in the first place. It's so it releases from the tool.
Yeah.
So if you spray paint over it, there's
Yeah.
a chance the paint's just going to flake off.
It's going to just come off.
Of course it is.
Yeah. I wash all my plastic.
Or at least wash it down with IPA. Because IPA,
I clean it with IPA. Yeah.
You know, I've been doing it all wrong. Because I've had a wash first, then painted it. Took a second, didn't it?
Yeah.
It
Whereas I don't wash
It
it
took
all.
me a second.
You've got to wash these kits, or at least wipe them down with IPA. If you don't wash them, at least give them a wipe down with IPA.
Yeah.
And I know, when we were up at the Spitfire Day, he claims that they run dry product out of their machine, but he says that they do use release agent to get the machine going. Now, he's, fair enough. If he's done that and he knows after 10 or 20 modes, all that release agent's gone, fair enough. But but he bins all that kit, you see, when he gets the machine going.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that in India. As soon as that first one comes off, it goes straight in a bag. So IPA is the answer.
Yeah, that's what I.
And I don't
use.
recommend using an expensive washing up liquid. Get the cheapest washing up liquid. I'll tell you reason why, because I have sometimes I go sleep with because I've got trouble breathing, so I wear a mask to bed. Is it CPAP? I think it's called. And the mask fits around your mouth and your nose, but mostly around my nose really. And they tell us not to use the cheapest watered down wash up liquid going, because it can affect the rubber and the plastic around my joint there. You see, around where it lines up to my nose, the rubber bit and the plastic bit. They always say use the cheapest stuff you can. So always wash and prime, and not to prime is a crime, isn't it? I really think priming, like I said, you tried. I know you haven't got it, but I'm loving using that Outlaw primer. If you watch Nigel's modelling bench praise primer, it's fantastic. It's really good. He rates it up there with Mr.
MRP.
Pellet's primer, doesn't he? And
The
MRP,
MRP fine surface primer he rates it with.
yeah.
But again, do you need to prime all your models?
I think you do.
I don't think so. All
You see,
depends on the paints
I'd
I'm using.
I'd never wash. I can't remember the last time I washed a kit. Well, I can
Really?
because I did a video. Which I haven't, yeah. But
No,
I always prime.
I wipe them with IPA, and then depending on the paints, I would prime or not.
Yeah. I've always
Well,
primed.
actually, I can tell you when I last washed a kit. It was the Hasegawa F35 because it's got so much release agent on it that when you pick it up, it's wet. You actually
Really?
feel it on your fingers. So it's like, yeah, you need to do this one.
Do you know what though, Stuart? Never prime anything, no issues. I promise you, mate, that one time you don't prime, there's going to be an issue. There'll be a time when you go on, and one time you do it, and you'll be like, I wish I primed this. But also, it does give, when you prime something, you can see a lot more blemishes than what you would just on pure plastic.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you're spraying, like I like the prime mine, so that when I'm going over it, say like for instance, all this stuff here, you've now got 50 shades of different greens, greys. Airfix are bringing out red plastic. They don't seem to keep to a grey plastic anymore. The plastic's all different colours. If you spray it black, you can see where you're going. It just uniforms everything. And when people say you don't prime, if they're doing a red, they will spray a yellow prime underneath or something. Then they'll put the red on top. There's a reason why we prime. It helps with shading, helps with the look of the.
Helps with seam lines.
Helps with seam lines. So it's but everyone's different.
Yeah, if it's going to be something you're not going to touch, like the interior, then probably maybe I don't sometimes. But anything exterior, I'll always prime it.
Yeah,
like it helps. It helps to show up any blemishes.
Yeah,
because once you've painted it, you're gonna have to strip it all back and start all over again. And
yeah,
I think the thing you can take from this though is that there's 8 of us in here, and we all do it differently.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And you
modelling
all
is
do
a
it
very
wrong.
interesting
I do it
thing.
right.
Oh, right.
Wrong.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Listen
so
to
just
me.
do it wrong.
I think Moz is a heretic.
No. Do you want to start a fight?
I'm not a heretic. I'm just a naughty boy.
Do you want to start a fight?
The heretic.
Listen, when you find something that works, but this is the trouble with scale modeling. When you find something that works for you, you're reluctant to try anything else.
Yeah.
And sometimes trying something else will enhance your modeling because you've moved on, or you. What was it I was saying today? I'm a. When it comes to microset and microsole, okay, I used to be somebody that would whack on a load of microset before I put the decal on, right? And it ripped. And somebody said, just use water, then mop up the water, then use your microset. If it hasn't flattened, then use microsole. And I was like, yeah, because I never used to use water. Just use micro, and it cost me more money as well because I was putting the decal, getting a brush of microset onto the decal at first to lift off the paper, then put it on, thinking I was jumping a step. But now I just use pure water now for all my decals. I've gone backwards, but that's the way it works, isn't it?
But the question is, gloss coat or no gloss coat?
There you go.
Semi-gloss.
And with that, I retire. No, again, Sully, is whatever works for you.
Yeah, I've used everything.
Yeah.
It depends. Sometimes it depends the fit. Sometimes, especially using Tamiya, sometimes I only even had to because it's glossy enough.
But again, LPG models, he doesn't gloss any of his kits.
No.
And you look to his work, and he's absolutely fantastic. So
The same with Greg's model. No. Yeah, Greg's models. He just sands, just gives it a light sand.
Yeah.
And then just puts the decal down, which I'll be scared shitless to do.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
That's
But it works for him. I've watched loads of his
It's
stuff.
not a rough sand though; it's a smoothing sand, like they do on your nails, isn't it?
It's like a polishing, like a polishing sand.
Yeah, polishing, yeah.
But even then, still, I'll be scared to do it.
Yeah. That's scary, at least.
But it's my favourite polishing one. It is. It's so smooth. Go over it, but I wouldn't. That's another way of doing it. You know,
Just a sponge.
Substitute 79. Never glossed, never had silver in, but I didn't gloss a kit once, and I had awful silver in underneath my decal. Couldn't get it to go flat. Tell you what it was. It was that that fish that one I did with the outlaw paints. You know the what's it called again? The lipish. I couldn't get the decal to go down hard on that, so I wish I'd glossed that really, but you know. Once it happens once, you question yourself, don't you? Why did that go wrong this time? You know what I mean? Because you've been lucky for the other 250 times you've done it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day, I think that's the matter of it. Whatever works for you,
that's amazing.
You know, and that's it. I just wish that, and there's not one setting solution. People swear by microset and microsole, but as Mr. Man here will tell you, microset is just bloody vinegar, isn't it?
You know my views on microset and so.
But you would use microsole though, wouldn't you?
No.
You wouldn't. You would just use vinegar and water.
No, I use Pledge, and if I ever needed anything stronger, I would add a little bit of maybe Tamiya Extra Thin diluted in IPA.
So you actually use Pledge to put your decals
Capital
on?
C.
No. You put the Pledge and you wipe the Pledge on to shine the surface up, and then you apply the decal on top of water.
With more Pledge.
Yeah. And then when you put the Pledge over the top, it forms.
So you kind of embed it in the.
It's a lot cheaper than microphone.
But would you not use? But would that work on a matte coat, or would it make it shiny in a gloss coat?
No, because you just put the matte varnish over the top, wouldn't you? It just, to me, because I used it for God's years.
Because I'm a Michael Soul man, you know, I water a little bit of Michael Set and then I put the Michael Soul on top.
Yeah.
But if I could make my own micro set, I'll be happy. Because the trouble is, I looked up the cost sheets for Michael Set, and because there's nothing dangerous in it, they won't tell you what they've made it from. But could you just use pure vinegar? I don't think you can because it'll burn it, wouldn't it?
You need to
You
dilute
can use
it.
the white vinegar, can't you, Alex?
It's basically I've got a bottle here somewhere.
It's the white distilled vinegar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
White.
When
Watch
you
with
guys
white.
can-
You go into Tesco's or any supermarket, you can buy white distilled vinegar. It's not the brown stuff; it's the white.
Yeah, it's the white
Yeah, but
stuff.
what would you mix it with? Distilled water, then? Would you?
No,
Yeah.
it's just distilled vinegar.
Why don't you make your own then, Alex, and sell out your shop?
Yeah, you
I
could.
don't need it.
He makes more money out of Microsol though.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't sell it.
Microsol has never failed me. I'm just saying,
No.
if I want something to go down hard, Microsol has never failed me.
Yeah, it always works.
I've always
There
had
must
the
be
wife to
something
that.
in that Microsol to get it to bed in so well. And so, what then? Really, what's the point in having Microset then? Just as well use Microsol and be done with it, isn't it? Who
Well, they do
knows?
different things.
Who knows?
They
I
do
like that
different
pledge
things,
though.
man.
I've never used pledge though. I've never used
No, I
pledge.
keep-
for
I-
that.
Well, you can't
If
do
you can
that,
get- If you can get these decals with pledge to conform the shape they are, I'll be sold to pledge. Till that point,
Is it
no.
See, the trouble is, I think that we've all shied away from pledge because we're worried about it's changed over the years, hasn't it? You know, that clear.
Yeah.
You know, it's changed over the years, and we're scared to use it because it ain't the same as what it used to be, or it is,
well,
or it isn't.
it's changed names.
Yeah.
It's not changed formulation. I mean, it has
No,
now
it changed
got its own-
formulation.
Models will tell you different though. Flooring models
Oh,
will tell you
yeah.
different. Sure. They changed the ingredients in it. So
Yeah, a few years ago they changed.
Have you ever used the Fairy product for taking paint off models?
no, I haven't.
It's like
I
It's
use
like-
Detto normally.
well, it's you can buy it in the supermarket in a spray like a canister bottle, and it's a green bottle and it's called Fairy Cleaner or something.
Yeah.
Oven cleaner.
And you just spray it on the kit and wipe the paint, and it comes straight off.
Really.
Yeah,
Oven cleaner is the same thing from Forza or whatever.
I just use what's it called? Detto. and
Detto.
leave it for-
Yes, it's
that's
good as
all, yeah,
well.
that'll do the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dot for
I've
brake
never
fluid.
I've never used pledge. I tell you, I'm not going to lie. I've always used Humbrel's clear for my glass. Just
Yeah.
drop it in and let it dry. I've always done that. I've never used pledge, but I've always been afraid of it because everybody says it ain't the same as it was 10 years ago. When people are still using pledge from 10 years ago because they bought 12 bottles of the stuff, but they reckon you can buy that pledge clear from America. It's the same stuff as it was when it was over here. So difficult, but I'll have to try that pledge out. Actually, it looks like a good idea.
Well, you can't buy it now, Moss. So there are different. So pledge is used in a lot of things. Like there's a lot of different names for it. People talk a lot of shit about it. If you're actually a chemist or have any chemical knowledge, the actual clear, the original Johnson's clear, that has remained the same product, the same base ingredients through. It's just changed names, and the name pledge is used with a lot of different things. So there isn't one single formulation. That's why people think it's changed, because they've used other products which aren't the original one, thinking that it's the original bit. They all contain common ingredients. The one that hasn't basically changed. And it's that formulation which is the useful one. It's basically got a couple of more supplies. Sorry, you can't buy it anymore. They discontinued it September last year. You could buy pledge, but it's not this stuff.
No, it's not that.
Mm.
It's what was it Pledge with Future Clear? I think it's called, or Future Gloss or something. Floor gloss.
I
Pledge
don't
on Amazon is $68 a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unavailable, I bet.
Mm.
I'd rather buy filet mignon.
Yeah.
Which is why people don't use it. Yeah.
I don't
Apparently,
doubt you, Alex, but I'm not using that on my models.
Apparently, Quick Shine is the new pledge or
Yeah.
future,
It's not.
isn't it?
No.
All right.
There are a couple of ingredients which are plasticizers and emulsifiers. They basically do the same job. They're solvents, effectively. They're plasticizers. That's what softens the decals as well, which is why clear was so good, because it was a clear coat. It was an acrylic kind of based gloss, and it was a solvator as well. So it did a whole bunch of stuff in one.
Yeah.
And it's that combination that you can't get, and one of the chemicals in it is really hard to obtain as a consumer rather than a. Now I'm a business, I might have a different way to get it.
Yeah.
But again, Alex, this is what we're talking about. Each person's their own.
UMP brings out their own products, don't they? Do they do their own microset or microsew?
Yes, they do.
They do they? Interesting. Wow.
Any auction tonight, Moss?
No auction tonight, mate.
What?
I got back late from work, and do you know what? I'm absolutely. I'm going to go to bed in about half an hour. I'm going to sort the dog out and go to bed about 10:30 tonight and go sleep. I'm absolutely thrashed. I really am.
Slacker, as like I say.
I know.
Jeez.
But it was so hot last night. I couldn't sleep so well. So it's so hot down here in this house.
It was nice and warm.
Says old Portuguese man of war there.
32 degrees was nice and warm. Was lovely. Was it?
Oh yeah. Well, you would have been sweating like a glass blower's ass though if you were me. I'll tell you, it was so hot yesterday.
I was sweating. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
it's good to have some heat.
Anyway, folks, there you go. That's been another Airfix and Chill. So I have asked Dale, because you have to go through Dale, if we can have Ethan, who designed the Ferret Scout and the Land Rover, to join us on an episode of Airfix and Chill. So hopefully he'll get back to me this week, and I hope I'm not going to say it's going to be next week, but in a couple within the next few Airfix and Chills, if Ethan wants to, we'll have him on for a chat.
That would be good.
See how he gets on, and so he can explain to us his design decisions on why he did this and why he. The one thing I noticed was that the talk about part count, the what they call the cans, what the fuel cans that they have, jerry cans.
Jerry cans.
That's 3 pieces in this kit, 2 halves, and then a 4-piece. The jerry cans are 2 halves together. Then you put the handles on. Then you put the nub on for where the petrol comes or the gas comes out, which I thought was interesting. Tigers, it's the Ferret Scout out next. You not watched this show? Have you just turned up, mate? I'm building it. There it is. There. It's almost finished.
Yeah.
Tigers, you've let the side down. It just shows you he's more interested in that bloody Humbro 3D printer. That's one of the best tools I use for putting decals on 148 planes. Gives it some height, doesn't it? Anyway, folks, we'll be back next week, hopefully at 8 o'clock. As I said, hopefully we might have an Airfix engineer or designer on. We'll see. I think Dale's going to ask him this week if it's possible. When I emailed Dale was like, "Yeah, we can do that. I'll let if Ethan agrees." But Ethan owes me anyway, because I sent him up a lovely pair of Sprue Cutters last year. So hopefully, Taggers just says, you're the only one I've seen with it, so I wasn't sure if it was for special people.
Which did want to say?
Yeah, I do want to say it now. But so quickly though, you enjoying your seeking, Sully?
Yes, I've been really enjoying it so far. And
so you're going to get it ready for Christmas?
Oh yeah, it should be done in, I reckon, I don't know, about 2 or 3 weeks. Should be able to get it done. Probably 2.
Right, that's it. So next week, hopefully, we'll have somebody else on. If not, it'll be the following week, and we'll talk about that. Thanks all for watching, and we will see you. Hang on, I've got to get the thing ready, haven't I? So I forgot about that. Yeah, put it on, and then we'll say goodbye. Cheers all, and see you next week. Bye bye.
See you guys.